Are you asking me what am I doing?
No, I'm asking the dog, who I thought had buried a bone downstairs, but he's just trying to bury it in the carpet. Oi, stop that. Bob? Yeah. Jeff's, oh, you're there. Jeff's got his bone underneath the table just there. He's actually... So, yeah, Jeff's working on instinct now, and he buried his bone really well under a load of blankets, but he's evidently decided... No, not good enough. Not good enough. I need to hide it in the corner of the front room and try to dig up some carpet to cover it up.
So he's close though, isn't he? He's figured some things out, but not the entire thing.
I mean, he was pretty ready when he put it underneath the blankets in his bed. So I don't know what he was thinking. Anyway.
This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing.
It's funny because I remember Frida, our little dog Frida, many moons ago in Pran in Melbourne. Could there be a more Australian-sounding suburb, Pran? Figure out how to spell that though.
Praughan.
Yeah, I'd think of that as prawn, like as in a few prawns on the barbie.
Yeah, I've got no idea. I'm throwing a wild guess.
Prahran, Pran.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was close that there was extra.
You were closer.
Letters that are entirely redundant.
Anyway, Frida was she'd been fed some. I think for some reason a friend had brought round quite a lot of fish. I think there were salmon steaks and way too much, and so we thought we'd give Frida some, and she was very happy, but realised that she wasn't going to get through them all, and so took them out the back. And we were able to observe her through the kitchen window, which of course, poor dog didn't know that we were watching her, and she was so furtive in how she was looking around to make sure no one was watching her dig the place where she was going to bury the salmon steaks. How are you? Nice to hear your voice, Lee Miller.
Nice to hear your voice
we're
too, Simon.
verging on working together, aren't we?
I would say we're more than verging. I've sent you multiple text messages asking for clarification, which you have then given me super detailed help. We've definitely been working together.
Wow, how does that? Is it just a bit OTT? Is it a bit too much? Is it?
No, I mean, no, not at all. Although, if you look at my work package compared to everybody else's,
I love it when you talk about your packages. It's very full, isn't it?
I have done a very good job, and I have filled my package to the veritable brim, and there's more to come.
Yeah. I can't wait to see your package completely overflow.
It's the only time that's going to happen, kiddo.
Oh, dear. Yeah, so that's it's curious, isn't it? So let's not talk about that.
No, let's not.
I had. Are there things that we do need to catch up on anything, or shall I drop straight into a question?
Just drop straight into the question, because I mean I've got loads of things that I want to ask you, but I think you should. I started last week, so you go ahead.
Okay.
Maybe we didn't. Anyway, what happened?
I don't remember. I think last week might have been just one of those ones where we just didn't get into anything.
Yeah. Ask the question.
No. I just came back from looking for little canned cocktails. And I was in Marks and Spencer looking for canned...
Best place for canned cocktails.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I'm not so experienced. And then I found some canned cocktails and bought aforementioned. And also, I also bought a little bit of chocolate. I see that Marks and Spencer is trying to counter the Tony's Chocolonely, with their kind of bright, colourful, big, chunky writing packages. Anyway, I bought a thing of milk chocolate and just ate something. And the thing I've learned two things. One, it's not the thing to have before you're about to talk for any length of time.
Claggy. Yeah.
Super claggy. And also, I don't really like milk chocolate. I mean, I get the buzz out of the sweetness. I go, ooh, sweet. But other than that, like, ugh. It's just all sweet.
Yeah, I'm with you. A 30% milk chocolate makes me feel a little bit ill.
Oh.
Which is what most of them are. But I don't mind one of the milk chocolates that's kind of the ones where they're kind of like a good blend, and you're like, oh, this isn't as bitter and grown up as a dark chocolate, but it makes me feel like a teenager when I'm eating chocolate rather than a toddler. You know what I mean?
Yes, so I feel like a toddler right now. My mouth has that kind of. Anyway, that's not what I was going. I've just read you know, there's a farm close to you that we've eaten at called Riverford.
Riverford, yes, where Jeff. I think everybody knows Jeff is a shoplifter at their local store.
You heard it here, and there's every week we've had I mean, it is we still because but it's just that it's been me for years now by myself. But
you're the one who has to eat it, but Lil is a staunch supporter of it. In principle, if not in.
I'd even go as far to call her a stakeholder in.
For the listeners, I want everybody to know that Simon is teasing me because I said that I didn't like that word.
I'm not teasing you. I'm not teasing.
Simon doesn't have any problem about using language that might be tricky. Anyway, go on, carry on. Because as we know, as he gets older, he gets more far right. Not even right-leaning, far right. He's fully now wearing beige pants. And I don't know what colour tops did they wear when they go to those tiki torch parades. I can never remember. Is it a blue?
I think they were white.
I know.
I think they were white.
Oh no, you're thinking full Nazis because I'm not thinking full Nazis.
I know you were thinking tiki torch. Yale University tiki torch kind of.
Yeah, and I think that they wore like khakis and a blue button down, which is something I wear quite often. And I say to Bob as I leave the house, "Is this too tiki torch?" And I have to accessorise.
This is actually the terribly embarrassing thing about you trying to sort out my wardrobe is that you don't realise my wardrobe's completely sorted because if I were to open it, all you'd see was row after row after row of khaki trousers and light blue button downs, and little kind of posters of my favourite men up against the back. Posing.
Have you had to make room for the new photograph of Sacha Baron Cohen's post-divorce body, where he's showing everybody how ripped he got?
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, so the guy who
but how old is Sacha Baron Cohen?
Oh, it's like 52.
Oh, good on him for getting ripped. If he's got the time for that, good on him.
I mean, I think that's all you've got the time for if you want to look like that at 52.
Just 7 minutes a day. Just 7 minutes of Tai Chi a day, Lee Miller.
7 minutes of Tai Chi a day will make me ripped?
Yeah, that's... I get a YouTube ad that's...
Pretty sure that's not true.
Unlike all the other YouTube ads, which are true.
Anyway.
Yeah, so, Riverford. That was a long diversion. So Riverford is an amazing place. It's a beautiful farm. Anyway, we've been ordering and getting their vegetables delivered. Vegetables... plus vegetables, etc., delivered for many years, like almost as long as I've been in the UK. When I was in Northampton, also in Harrow, etc., etc. Anyway, every week the guy whose name is Guy, who is one of the co-owners, he founded the place, but he's co-owner, writes a little newsletter, and every week I find it fascinating. But here is one little part from it, and. Fortunately, he said, colleagues had the courage to challenge my tunnel vision, while financial security, age, and a subsiding ego all broadened my definition of success. Well, I love that idea of that kind of subsiding ego and the idea of broadening one's definition of success. And I guess, of course, I'm saying it because I recognize an acute difference between what success for me as a 15-year-old, as a 25-year-old is, compared with me as a 56, nearly 57-year-old. Now. And so even though you may not use the word, because I don't think I use the word, it doesn't even enter my brain that often these days. Maybe in obvious situations like if you won a grant, the bid was successful, for example. But it doesn't really kind of enter my brain a lot. So let's forget the idea that maybe it's a word you use or don't use, but what does it mean? What might it mean for you now in this moment, in this period, in this part of your life?
It's a good question. I think you gave the example of winning a grant. In terms of life, what's the marker of success for me? You know, I'm going to say the thing I'm always going to say. I'm still married to Bob.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still married to Bob, and I still talk to my parents. You know, it's like I've been able to sustain relationships. Not many.
I mean, you've crossed over into plural there, haven't you?
There's definitely more than one relationship. You know, I still talk to my parents. I still talk to my wife and my dog.
Hey, wait.
Who is right by my side. Oh, and you. Yeah. Sorry. I thought for a second you were whistling Jeff. I'm like, he's fast asleep. And also, I've got headphones on. He can't hear you. How do you?
So they're markers of success. So interesting, isn't it? The idea of them. I'll get to your question, which I know I didn't let you finish. But I think there's something about the idea of being good at something. And the crossover between how it is that one might recognize that one is good at something. I'm obviously using the impersonal just so I wasn't asking you necessarily. And so because I think that I'm highly internally motivated. So extrinsic motivation, where I'm motivated by extrinsic factors like being seen to be so-and-so, or being given an award, or winning something. I have very little, if any, motivation from those things. No, there's definitely some, but very little. So it means that if I say I'm highly internally motivated, or intrinsically motivated, then the question of how it is that I recognize those things that I'm motivated to do, how do I recognize that I've done well at them, becomes a question. Hence the markers of success, which I quite like that idea, a marker of success, because it doesn't necessarily imply an award or things that are rather banally markers of success. Marks of success in a banal way. But I don't know the answer to that part. That is, you know, the thing I probably do the most, other than get ChatGPT to write grant bids for me, is I think I'm the only. I think I'm the only person in the world who's doing that. Though I'm sure there's no one else. Anyway,
you were saying markers of success over and above getting the things that you do.
Yeah, most. Thank you. The thing I'm really doing, that I spend most of my time doing, which is not work related, is making bread, really, and which you know, and I think I have enough skill in it now to be able to go, that feels successful. Like, they're all good in the sense that, I'm happy with that or whatever. I don't make too many failures. I had one recently. I was like, what the hell went on there? No idea what went on. Like, just, what? Strange. But, so there's something about recognizing, like this morning when I was baking, I'm going, these are really good today. And so you could say I felt successful. But it's pretty small time, isn't it?
I mean, but this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, what does success is such a bizarre thing. Are you clothed? Are you housed? Are you fed? Are you happy? If you can say yes to all of those things, you've probably hit the jackpot. The rest of it,
it's just window dressing, isn't it?
It's window dressing, and it's not for you. I genuinely doubt that there is and I don't like them, billionaire on the planet who is happier than me.
Oh, I mean, I think that there's plenty of data, there's plenty of science to indicate that you only need a modicum of money. There's only a certain amount, and which means you're basically got those basics covered. Basically means you've got those basics covered. Sorry about all the basics in there. And then after that, generally it's an inverted U. It's a little optimal amount, and then more money, you definitely don't get happier. Often less happier.
Yeah. There was something in the... Gosh, I still use Flipboard, my news aggregator.
I love that you still use it. I love that you still use it. Is that on the iPad, is it?
It's on the iPad, and I just find it, when my finger reflexively wants to reach for something like an Instagram type thing, it's like, nope, press the other bright red button that will give you at least something that looks like journalism, although isn't.
And does it do RSS feeds, or is it just you have to sort of select? Yeah, right.
No, it does RSS feeds. Yeah. So there was I think it might have been from The Economist or something like that. I genuinely can't remember where it came from. But there was a reference made to the world's richest woman who has a fortune of $70 billion.
Yep. Handy.
So, quite a lot of money. And she's just announced that she is building and opening a medical school. And the medical school will have no fees. And so this is in America, obviously, where university education is ruinously expensive. And she's doing this in an attempt to try to fix the broken pipeline of healthcare in the US. And you just kind of go, that is such an anomalous story of billionaires. She's not building a rocket. She's not trying to insert herself into a government. She's doing something that might ultimately... I mean, there are also things that we can go about.
Yeah, Bill Gates, Bill and Melinda Gates. There are definitely...
I'm not saying nobody's done it. I'm just saying it's anomalous.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm saying, Simon, except... all of the other stuff is you say that it's pretty small fish to fry in relationship to being happy that you've gotten good at making bread. It feeds people. I would say it's a pretty high watermark, actually. Well done.
By the way, it's Melinda Gates, of course. In fact, I imagine she's no longer Gates because they split up many years ago. But she's still got a lot of money. Yeah, and she does nice things with it as well. She does. So when I read that this morning, in fact, I only just read it just before we, as they say, came on air, and the first thought I had about success was, just walking outside, having the time to walk outside or to sit outside in the quiet and, sip a glass of wine or something. It was really kind of obnoxiously middle class, but also pretty low. Like, I know it takes a lot in order to have the time to be able to do that. I get that. But yeah, it was very, very low in terms of how much effort it would take, given the circumstances of my life as they are now. It's definitely not reaching for something.
Yeah, I think it's we had. I'm not sure if this will go in the final cut because it's a bit. Yeah, you will see why I might be pausing over it. Did I tell you that we thought about buying next door's flat?
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
I don't know if you told. I don't think you told the podcast.
We were exploring. Could we afford it and how we'd make it work? And the answer was, shockingly, yes, we could. But it would mean that we would have to extend our mortgage for longer than we wanted to and all of those sorts of things. And we sat down with a financial advisor and they took us through what it would cost per month. And we were like, well, we've got a relatively secure position right now. Yeah, we could get this done. And that would give us this like really, really solid foundation for our retirement. Because you're building up the capital that you would have to be able to draw on, and then Bob and I just stopped and went, "Hang about, how many fucking bedrooms do we need in a place that we spend like 3 months maximum of the year at the moment? And when we move there in the future, it's like, are we going to suddenly start having riotously big house parties where everybody needs to come and stay? No.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping for."
So instead, what we did is we just paid a big chunk of the mortgage off that was left over, and we've only got 5 years left on it. And that's a marker of success for me. That in by the time I hit my mid-50s, I won't have a mortgage. That's a hugely big deal for somebody who comes from parents who, as you know, were cooked in a very working class broth and have been not beating. They never raised their hands to me. Strongly encouraging in my patterning that property is the way to give yourself security. That's the only thing. Bricks and mortar, and that's all I've heard my entire life. Tangible. Yeah, so exactly.
You said by the time you reach your mid-50s in 5 years' time. I just want to check the maths there. Is that?
I keep forgetting. I'm 52 now. Sorry.
My brain is so I'm so small. I apologise for the smallness of my.
Here's the thing, Simon. What I did was I did 2 lots of rounding up. I rounded up and I rounded down. I rounded up to say that we will be paying the mortgage off in 5 years. We'll be paying it off in 3.5.
And you rounded down to be 50 now.
And I rounded down to be 50. So actually, we've got 3.5 years left on the mortgage.
So there was some rounding. There are multiple rounding errors going on there.
But it will still mean that in my mid-50s we'll be mortgage free. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know this, but I was just so driven as a teenager in my 20s. I mean, just so ambitious, and I so knew what I wanted, even when I changed what it was that I wanted. And I just was watching I started watching an amazing French film last night, and I don't remember what it's called because that's, why would I? But it's about these films that were made from the 1960s onwards in Roland Garros, which is the place where they play the French Open tennis in Paris, on the orange clay, the red clay. And it's all of John McEnroe in the mid-80s. So it was in my early to mid-80s, and in the thick of my tennis life. And I was so infatuated with Bjorn Borg and John McEnroe. But it's such an interesting, it's a documentary, but it's kind of not. It's about the process of making film. It's about the process of recording, of filming sport. It's many, many things. It's quite something. But I was reminded of just how badly I wanted to be successful. And I use the word badly, very on purpose, very consciously or self-consciously, that it was, and it was overwhelming. It was almost like it was kind of, my body was hot from that desire as a teenager, such that I couldn't cope with it. But so yeah, it's just like, oh, thank God I'm not like that. Thank God I'm not like that anymore. It's not sustainable.
No, it's. I often think about a story you told, I think, on the podcast about your brother coming home and finding you watching cartoons.
Yes, that's right.
And I think about it so often, Simon, and it fills... I know nothing about your siblings. I've only met one of them. But it fills me with such deep sadness.
Does it?
It really, really does, because... it's such a complicated sadness. It's so complicated. It's not sad for you, it's sad for me, as well as sad for you. Because I had nobody who was expecting anything from me. And I think that... So I've been loved and I have been supported, and I wanted to be things, but I didn't want to be things with the burning white-hot desire that you talk about. And so as a result, the things that I wanted to be, I achieved at a middling level and then was quite disappointed by and moved on from. So I wanted to be an actor. I spent 2 years of my life acting. I didn't really enjoy it. And I don't know if I didn't enjoy it because it wasn't for me, or if it was because I wasn't working at the standard that I wanted to be working at.
So you weren't successful. Possibly it may be that you weren't successful enough, whatever that might have been.
Yeah. Well, I think in this instance, the successful enough would mean choosing projects that were challenging and interesting. And, but I would also say, I don't think I was an artist. I don't think that it was my art. I think there have been moments where I've stepped into an art-making world and I felt quite proud of some of the materials that I've generated in a performance and in an installation context later on, for sure. But in that moment, which is, just to be clear, stuff that never paid the mortgage. So it wasn't successful in that respect. But so my sadness when I think about that story is like, God, nobody ever told me to get off the sofa and apply myself.
Yeah, the story was, just in case, so you don't have to, if you can't remember it, if you're listening, was that it was in the afternoon. I must have got home from school and was watching cartoons or something on the television. And my older brother, Ian, I would have been, maybe I was 12, he was 15 at the time, and he was incredibly committed to being a cyclist and was a very successful national champion. Very, very, very good cycle. Went to the World Junior Championships, all that sort of stuff. And he kind of took one look at me and went, "What are you doing? You'll never make it. If you're just going to sit around doing that, there's no way you'll be any good." I mean, he didn't say it in such a sophisticated way, but he was certainly he was shaming. There was kind of shaming. I think put it this way, I don't think he was trying to do that, but I certainly felt shamed by it, or felt ashamed by it. Yeah. So yeah, that's just the story. So yeah, it's interesting that I don't often think of it really. I don't. I think for whatever reason, if you're talking about the kind of broth you were cooked in, I think I don't remember when, but from a very young age, and in fact, I would say it's so in me that it's hard to imagine that it's not a genetic aspect to it. That's how strongly that sense of drive and of wanting to be good at things is in me. Anyway, I think that's. Anyway, I think of you as being very successful.
Oh, Jeffrey thinks of me as being in his way. He just knocked something over to get a little bit closer to something.
Nice. Thanks, Jeffrey. Thanks. Nice ending, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Oh, big yawn. Oh, big stretch. Good boy. What a handsome.
See ya.
Bye.